What if you could control your dreams? What if you were completely aware while dreaming and knew you were dreaming all along? This phenomenon is called a lucid dream. Now imagine a father, shattered by the abduction of his son 3 years ago, pushing beyond the boundaries of reality to find him. This is not just a story. This is an emotional roller coaster where a father dares to enter the world of lucid dreams in search of truth. But as he digs deeper into his subconscious, chilling secrets begin to unfold. Will he ever find his son again, or will the truth destroy him? The movie Lucid Dreams starts with Dae-ho, a renowned Korean journalist, under fire from the media for exposing a powerful businessman. Despite the pressure, Dae-ho stands firm, determined to prove his allegations. Tired and emotionally drained, he returns home where his son, Min-woo, is waiting. Their reunion instantly softens him. This wasn't just a father-son bond, it was everything to him. They go for a walk in the park, enjoying their time together. But suddenly, something odd happens. Dae-ho spots a man secretly clicking their pictures. Alarmed, he confronts the stranger and finds multiple photos of him and Min. Though the man claims innocence, Dae-ho warns him sternly and walks away. Soon after, while Dae-ho steps away to get burgers, Min-woo, sitting quietly near a waterfall, asks his dad a heartbreaking question. "You won't leave me for America like Mom, right?" Dae-ho gently promises, "I'll always stay by your side." But that promise shatters moments later. While pushing Min on the swing, Dae-ho briefly looks away, only to suddenly feel dizzy. He sees a needle pricked into his knee, and panic strikes. His vision blurs, the world spins, and before he can react, he collapses. And just like that, Min disappears. Cut to 3 years later. Min is still missing. The police failed. The world moved on, but not Dae-ho. Grief has turned into rage. Every day he lashes out at people. Businessmen, politicians, anyone he once exposed. He becomes a regular at the police station. One officer, a CEO turned investigator, understands Dae-ho's pain and lets him go, warning him each time. While chasing one lead after another, Dae-ho stumbles across the concept of lucid dreaming. He learns that in some countries it's even helped crack unsolved criminal cases. Intrigued, he finds a therapist named So-hyun who uses lucid dreaming therapy to help patients heal from traumatic memories. At first, she's reluctant, but after hearing Dae-ho's story, she agrees to help him. She explains the basics. In lucid dreams, you'll know you're dreaming. The world will feel real, but it's not. To test it, look at a clock. Its second hand doesn't move in dreams. But remember, stay inside too long, and it can become dangerous. Your senses will be sharper, your mind faster, but not everything you see can be trusted. With nothing left to lose, Dae-ho dives into the memory of the day Min vanished. In the dream, he looks at his watch. The second hand is frozen. He spots Min near the swing, just moments before the kidnapping. Then, in the crowd, he notices a man in a black suit. He's the only one watching Dae-ho intently. Every moment replays, the burger run, the collision with a stranger, and the man in black is always there, always watching. Dae-ho follows him, heart pounding, but before he can get closer, the dream breaks. He wakes up, shaken. So-hyun then shows him a disturbing discovery. This same black-suited man has been seen by many people during their lucid dreams. Everything seemed normal, but Dae-ho was told to let the events in his dreams play out naturally. Only then, maybe, he could uncover the truth behind his son's kidnapping. So, he enters the world of lucid dreaming once again. This time, his focus is clear. Find out who injected him with that needle which made him pass out. As the dream begins, the same events replay. Just when he starts to get close, Dae-ho begins losing consciousness again, just like before. But this time, right before blacking out, he catches a glimpse of something crucial, a dragon tattoo on the arm of the man taking Min-woo away. That tattoo becomes his biggest lead. When Dae-ho shares all this with Bank Se-yob, the compassionate officer, he doesn't laugh it off. In fact, he takes it seriously and begins investigating. Through another lucid dream, Dae-ho realizes that the man who rushed to help him when he fainted was the same person who injected him. So now, there are two suspects, the tattooed man and the one who knocked Dae-ho unconscious. With both a tattoo and a partial face to go on, the investigation gets new life. As they dig deeper, Dae-ho learns something personal about Bank Se-yob. He too has a young daughter, about the same age Min-woo was when he went missing. She's been sick since birth and always needs care. That's when Dae-ho understands. Bank Se-yob is helping him not just as a cop, but as a father. When police records come up empty, Dae-ho hires a private detective to track down the tattooed man. Meanwhile, A mysterious man in a hat starts following Dae-ho. Even at night, Dae-ho can't sleep. His mind keeps replaying every clue, every moment. In another dream, he finds a breakthrough. The tattooed man had bought something from a shop right after Dae-ho bought burgers for Minwoo. While he still couldn't clearly see the man's face, a new clue emerged. The man had used Dae-ho's stolen credit card. Using that, Dae-ho traces the card to a man named Sang-man, a petty criminal who was in a serious car crash 2 years ago and has been in a coma ever since. The news crushes Dae-ho. He thought he'd found a way forward, but it leads to a dead end. Then the private detective brings something shocking. He's found another man who's about to leave the country. His name? Also Sang-man. Confused but desperate, Dae-ho rushes to the airport and manages to catch him just in time. When Dae-ho confronts him, the man drops a bombshell. "Why do you think Sang-man killed your son?" Dae-ho freezes. He checks his watch. This is not a dream. The police arrive and take the man in for questioning. But the next day, tragedy strikes again. Sang-man is found dead in his jail cell, an apparent suicide. The man in the hat? He appears again in the CCTV footage from the police station, watching Dae-ho quietly. Suspicion builds. Dae-ho refuses to believe this is the end. Deep down, he feels Minwoo is still alive. Bang Seob's words echo in his mind. What if someone powerful paid Sang-man to kidnap your son? Maybe he killed himself out of fear. Suddenly, Dae-ho suffers a nosebleed, a side effect of too many lucid dreams. So-hyun reassures him. It's temporary, and medication will help. Later, Dae-ho meets a rich, influential man named Im-moon. So-hyun explains that Im comes to the clinic to erase painful memories. His son died in a tragic accident. But then, Dae-ho connects the dots. He had once exposed Im's son in a corruption case, and 3 years ago, on the same day Minwoo was kidnapped, Im's son had that fatal accident. Things start to make sense. Im's son had a rare blood group, MKMK, the same as Minwoo's. Only 20 people in all of Korea have it. Dae-ho is struck with a horrifying truth. Minwoo was kidnapped not for revenge, but as a donor, to save Im's dying son. Now more determined than ever, Dae-ho begins tailing Im-moon. One day, in a shopping mall, he spots a familiar face, the same man from his very first lucid dream. He confronts him. The man reveals his name, Yo-young. Yo-young, though physically disabled, had discovered an escape, lucid dreams. In the real world, he had limitations, but in dreams, he was free. That's why he began diving into the dreams of others. Not for justice, but for fun. He'd hack into computers and slip into people's subconscious while they slept. That's also why many patients kept seeing his face in their dreams. When Dae-ho learns this, he's furious. He warns Yo to stay away from him and starts to walk away, but suddenly an idea hits him. What if he used Yo to enter someone else's dream? Specifically, the dream of Kyon, the man connected to the accident and the kidnapping. But this wasn't easy. It was dangerous. Young and So-hyun both warn Dae-ho that if something goes wrong, if King Horn, a mental trap, activates, he could be stuck in the dream world forever. Still, Dae-ho was a father on a mission. He was ready to risk everything for Minwoo. With Yo and So-hyun's help, Dae-ho prepares to enter Kyon's dream. Before he sleeps, Young hands him a time bell and says, "Focus on this when you want to wake up. It'll bring you back." The dream begins. Dae-ho finds himself in a forest. Kyon is there, happy with his wife. But suddenly, a crash. Dae-ho witnesses the car accident that put Kyon into a coma. He sees another car push Kyon's vehicle into a ditch. He doesn't recognize the driver, but he memorizes the license plate. Then, the scene shifts. Dae-ho is transported to a building. This is before the accident. Inside, he sees Kyon having a conversation with Sang-man. From the way they talk, Dae-ho understands Kyon wasn't a bad man, just someone who got caught up in a terrible situation. Once they leave, Dae-ho searches the room and finds something chilling. A list of names. All people with the rare MKMK blood group. Suddenly, Kyon and Sang-man return. Dae-ho tries to confront them, but Yo appears just in time and pulls him out of the dream. Now, everything clicks. 3 years ago, someone made a list of MKMK blood group individuals, hoping to find a donor to save a life. Dae-ho tells the police, but he knows they won't touch someone powerful, so he makes a bold move. He decides to kidnap Im-moon. The influential man he suspects is behind it all. While Im-moon is alone at the clinic for therapy, Dae-ho makes his move. But before he can get answers, Moon's guards rush in. Dae-ho breaks down, begging not for revenge, but for his son. Touched by his desperation, Im-moon reveals a shocking truth. "My son died in February 2012. Your son was kidnapped in April. I didn't do this. Yes, I created the list. But someone stole it after my son died. That meant someone else used the list. Someone who still needed a donor with the MKMK blood group. Dae-ho checks the list again. He finds a new name. A girl currently admitted to a city hospital. When he visits, he learns she's Bank Seob's daughter, the officer who had been helping him all along. She has a heart defect and needs a transplant. Just then, Dae-ho gets a call from the detective. The car you saw in the dream, it's registered to Bank Seob. It all falls into place. The crash, Sangman's death, Minwoo's disappearance, Bank Seob was behind it. Before Dae-ho can act, Bank kidnaps him. And there in the shadows is the man with the cap, Bank's right-hand man, who'd been spying on Dae-ho all this time. Now Bank reveals everything. For the last 3 years, he's also been searching for Minwoo. He ordered the kidnapping for his daughter's transplant, but when the men he hired refused to kill Minwoo, they vanished with him. Even after searching the entire city, Bank never found them. But he had one last option, shared dreaming. Bank prepares to kill Dae-ho to erase the evidence, but before he can act, the private detective and his team arrive just in time. Dae-ho is saved, but he doesn't stop there. With Bank's help, he forces entry into Kyeon's dream, believing the man still knows where Minwoo is. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Kyeon's Konditi. Kyeon enters a crumbling building inside the dream world, clearly shaken by the chaos around him. There, he's confronted by Dae-ho, who desperately demands answers. Even under pressure, Kyeon refuses to speak until a fierce fight breaks out. Amid the chaos, Kyeon is shot and finally confesses. He left Minwoo at a Catholic church outside the city, on a remote island. Dae-ho tries to wake up, but just then, Bank appears and shoots him in the hand, snatching the time bell, his only way out of the dream. In their struggle, the bell falls off the building. With no time to lose, Dae-ho dives after it and grabs it mid-fall. Focusing all his strength, he presses the bell and wakes up. The scene cuts. We learn that Kyeon didn't survive, but Dae-ho did. In the final scene, Dae-ho arrives at the island church, and there, he sees Minwoo. Overwhelmed with emotion, he breaks down in tears. When Min calls him Papa, Dae-ho pulls him into a tight hug. After years of pain, the father and son are finally reunited. The movie ends with hope and heart.